By the end of the 1960s, the Beatles were no longer the unstoppable creative force they had once been. The energy that fueled their groundbreaking mid-decade output had begun to fade, replaced by internal tensions, diverging artistic visions, and the quiet realization that the end was approaching. Recording sessions had become increasingly fragmented, and the sense of unity that once defined the band was slipping away. And yet, in the middle of that unraveling, something remarkable happened. On April 14, 1969, John Lennon and Paul McCartney reunited in a way that felt almost like a flashback to their peak years. In a single day at Abbey Road Studios, the duo recorded what would become one of their final true collaborations, a raw, urgent, and deeply personal track, the Ballad of John and Yoko. The song was born directly from Lennon's whirlwind marriage to Yoko Ono, an event that had captivated and confused the global media in equal measure. Rather than crafting a fictional narrative, he chose something far more immediate. He documented the experience almost in real time. "It's all in the song," Lennon once explained. "If you want to know what happened, it's in there." From their hurried wedding in Gibraltar to their famous bed-ins for peace in Amsterdam and Montreal, the track plays like a diary set to music. Lennon even described it not as a traditional pop song, but as a piece of journalism, a modern folk ballad chronicling real events as they unfolded. That approach makes the song feel strikingly ahead of its time. Decades later, artists would routinely blur the lines between reportage and music. But in 1969, this level of autobiographical immediacy was still unusual, especially for a band as globally scrutinized as the Beatles. A two-man Beatles recording. What makes the recording even more fascinating is who wasn't there. With George Harrison and Ringo Starr unavailable at the time, John and McCartney handled the entire session themselves. McCartney played drums, bass, and piano, while Lennon took on guitars and lead vocals. It wasn't a calculated artistic decision, it was simply practical. But symbolically, it said everything about where the band stood in 1969. The Beatles were no longer functioning as a fully unified group. Instead, they were splintering into smaller creative partnerships. Still, the speed and efficiency of the session were astonishing. Recorded and completed in just one day, the track carried an immediacy and looseness that echoed their early years, almost as if Lennon and McCartney briefly rediscovered their old chemistry in the studio. But if the song captured love and spontaneity, it also reignited controversy. Just a few years earlier, Lennon had sparked outrage by suggesting that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus, a comment that led to protests, record burnings, and radio bans, particularly in the US. By 1969, the backlash had faded, but the memory lingered. "Christ, you know it ain't easy. You know how hard it can be. The way things are going, they're gonna crucify me." For many broadcasters, that was enough. Despite Lennon's attempt to limit pre-release attention, reportedly instructing his team to avoid highlighting the lyric, several radio stations either banned the song outright or edited the offending line. In parts of the US and beyond, it became yet another Beatles track deemed too provocative for airplay. From controversy to cult status. At the time, the Ballad of John and Yoko wasn't universally embraced. It didn't have the sweeping ambition of earlier Beatles classics, nor the polished experimentation of their studio-era masterpieces. Instead, it felt immediate, rough-edged, and unapologetically personal. But that's exactly why its reputation has grown. Today, the song is often viewed as a unique artifact, a snapshot of a band in transition, and a candid window into one of rock's most famous relationships. It captures a moment when global superstardom, political activism, media scrutiny, and personal love collided in real time. More than 50 decades later, it stands as one of the clearest examples of how John Lennon used songwriting as documentation, turning his own life into myth while it was still unfolding. And perhaps most importantly, it remains proof that even as the Beatles were falling apart, the creative spark between Lennon and McCartney could still ignite, if only for a single unforgettable day.